Al, it's been a while.
Has it?
Been a while since I've had to get the old grab bag.
Oh, snap.
Put it over my shoulder like I'm Santa. Except there's like not a lot of stuff in it. It's just like a couple of games. So it's like a huge bag, but there's like very little stuff in it. It's very light. So it doesn't really make like the same impression. But it has the giant words grab bag on it. Because you reach in the bag and you grab stuff out. Anyways, hi, hello, welcome. This is episode number 40, the big 4-0. If we were actually 40, it would be like, we'd be getting a lot of cards like, over the hill, huh? The big 40. Oh, life's God. Over, right?
Oh my God.
This is episode number 40 of the Seasonal Anime Checkup OVA. It's a podcast where we have conversations about video games, anime, and manga. Hello, I'm Jared, joined as always by the best podcast co-host in the entire world. That's Ladyem.
Thank you. Hello.
And we're going to dive into the grab bag today. We got a couple of, actually more than a couple. We got like a quartet of games we're going to talk about today.
Oh, snap.
That's 4. I think we'll go with 4, maybe more. It depends on like how many I want to talk about. That's the case here.
Nice.
Before we go into that, there was something that I mentioned last week that I should have mentioned up front in the podcast, and I'm going to do so now because this is a place where probably more people are listening than at the end of the podcast. Let's be real.
Yeah.
If you have not been paying attention to our social medias, we have a new podcast. It is called Jared and Al Watch. And for right now, we are watching Sailor Moon Crystal every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. A new episode of that goes up. It is going to be short form podcast where we talk about a single episode of the show, review it, talk about what happened, talk about how we feel about what happened, talk about what we think might happen later on in the show. And we're going to do that weekly until we run out of Sailor Moon Crystal to watch, which is going to happen sometime because I haven't finished making it.
Nope.
So yeah, that's our supplemental podcast to this. So you'll find it the same feed that this is in, the Seasonal Anime Checkup OVA podcast feed, which you find on iTunes and Google Play. Also on the website as well, will be under Seasonal Anime Checkup OVA. So that's the same place you will find this podcast. You'll find the Jared and Al Watch podcast. So if you're interested in hearing our opinions about each individual episode of Sailor Moon Crystal, you should probably check it out. It's pretty fun. And each episode's like 20 to 30 minutes long, so it's a lot shorter than these episodes are.
A lot shorter, yes.
So the only way short form podcast works for us. We're a talkative bunch. I guess also we wanted to say something about what happened like last weekend in terms of the big gaming personality, quote unquote. I don't like that phrasing. It's real bad. But I also don't like saying the Let's Player.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I introduced him, but meh.
There's not good adjectives for this sort of stuff.
There's not.
Everyone, or I shouldn't say everyone, literally the biggest like personality in terms of gaming, in terms of like YouTube subscriptions, all that stuff, PewDiePie, found himself in hot water again last weekend when he said the N-word on stream.
Yep.
Like, there's no sugarcoating this or, like, beating around the bush or being like, PewDiePie finds himself in controversial state. Like, no, it's not. He said the N-word. Come on. You don't have to beat around the bush around it.
There's no controversy on that.
Yeah.
Like, he literally threw out a racial slur in the middle of a live stream.
And I know, like, there's obviously been people out there defending it. Like, oh, he didn't mean to say it, obviously. He apologized, so everything's A-okay, right? If I go out and murder, like, 30 people...
But it was the heat of the moment.
But say it's the heat of the moment, and then I apologize afterwards. Does that automatically mean I'm A-okay? I get off scot-free? No. If I go out and say, like, I go out to a bunch of people in the middle of the street and call them all sorts of racial slurs, homophobic slurs, transphobic slurs, any sort of hate words in general, if I go out and apologize afterwards, am I scot-free? No, because A, that's not freedom of speech. I'm going to get arrested for that. Well, I mean, I'm white, so probably not necessarily arrested. Let's be real. But basically, yeah, you're going to get in trouble for that. You're not going to be able to just apologize and get off scot-free for it. That's not how the world works.
No. Well, and the thing that irritates me so much is that people are saying, well, this is just the gaming community. This is part of it. Like, people should be used to this by now. And I'm like, why should we ever have to get used to this? This is not what the gaming community should be. And it's part of why I don't associate myself with the term gamer ever.
Exactly, yeah.
Because it's so toxic.
If you've been listening to this podcast for the last 40 episodes, you have noticed that we don't call ourselves gamers. We make fun of basically the entire thing of capital G gamers. And that's basically us, like, poking shade at that kind of culture because we don't associate with it. We think it's bullshit. It sucks.
It's gross. And I mean, I've seen people, and I guess I should just blatantly say, I wrote a post about this.
Yeah.
And I've gotten into arguments on the internet about this because we should be doing better as people. It's strange to me that at some point we're like, oh, this is fine because this is the gaming community. Why is the gaming community not asking for better? Why are we not saying this is unacceptable and we should be doing something better with our time and our words? There are so many words in the languages that we speak. Why are we automatically, as a negative, going to racial derogatory slurs? Why are we going to sexist slurs? Why are we going to homophobic slurs? Why are we going to these slurs when there are so many other words that can describe your anger at somebody and your frustration at somebody? It doesn't make any sense. And we deserve better as people who play video games.
Yeah, I completely agree.
It's not okay. It's not ever going to be okay. When you've actually spoken to people who have been victimized by this kind of rhetoric, and I mean, I understand that people are like, well, it's video gaming. Like, it doesn't hurt them personally. It's like, yeah, okay, but it's the same dang language. People have been victimized. People have been hurt. This is you comparing something that you dislike or you think is negative to somebody's race, to their skin color. And that is not okay. It will never be okay. We are better than this.
I completely agree. Like, I mean, I'll be honest with you. Like, I grew up in a culture that basically normalized all that type of speech. And throughout, I
grew up in Tennessee.
Yeah. But like I'm saying, like, in high school, like, I used homophobic slurs. I used transphobic slurs. I probably said the N-word a couple of times as well. Because honestly, I didn't know better. I should have known better. But at the time, like, in the certain group of friends that I was with, like, that was just normal. We didn't necessarily think that, oh, we are hurting people with these type of words. This is just words that we say, and we try to justify that by being like, oh, if I say, I'm going to bleep this out, obviously, but if I say the word I'm not necessarily demeaning a person of homosexuality. I'm just saying, oh, this is stupid, or you're being an idiot. And the same thing for, like, if I said someone was being retarded or something of that ilk. Like, that was the type of logic that I would justify that with. Obviously, like, now I've grown up, and I think that's a key for a lot of people. You have to grow up. You have to learn that those words have meaning, a lot of meaning in them, a lot of hateful meaning in them. And you have to learn that and basically re-educate yourself into thinking, hey, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say these words because they have so much meaning in them. They have so much hateful connotation with them. And you have to, you come up with different words. Like, if I'm mad at something, I'm probably gonna say out a lot of curse words like F this is bullshit, or just some real dumb thing like this is real poopy pants for something like that. But like, I've re-educated myself. I learned empathy for other people, and I know now that, like, hey, those words I said in my past, they were very rude and mean and hate-filled, and I'm ashamed of that. Like, I should have known better. I mean, obviously, I'm a straight white dude, and I have, like, the most privilege out of anyone in the entire planet. So if I say those types of things, I'm going to be able to get away with it.
Yeah.
And the fact that that's still the case, like, just, it's sickening. And I feel like especially, like, I don't want to be, like, super preachy or be like, oh, I'm a straight white dude, so you should totally just listen to me and only me. You should, there's definitely a lot better voices out there who have been talking about this, like, voices that are of minority, of homosexuality, and just all sorts of other voices that are better suited than I am to be speaking out on this. But as a straight white dude, if I'm not speaking out about this, I'm just as complicit as them saying these words because I'm not saying anything against them. Gaming community, the gaming culture sucks. I mean,
it's toxic.
It's no surprise that literally Gamergate grew into Nazis being in the government and being all over in 2017. Like, there is a direct correlation between those two events. It just sucks. And I know, like, I particularly, I don't want to get, like, super political on this podcast because I know, like, a lot of people come to video games for escapism and all that sort of stuff, but there are times where you just can't be silent about these sorts of things. You have to speak out about them.
I agree. I mean, and that's the thing, is that I was legitimately afraid, and I posted it on there. I was hesitant to write anything about it because I was afraid the kind of response that I'd get, which, you know, because we were talking about it before we recorded, I've been getting a lot of people who are just rude to me.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's important to say that I'm part of this and it's not okay. I'm not a part of the sense that I'm not like the gaming community and da-da-da-da-da, but I play video games. And it's not going to get better unless people start saying this is not acceptable.
Right. You can play games and not be a asshole.
Right. You don't have to be that gross or horrible of a human to play games, especially online. And you can say things when you're mad at people. That's fine. Say it. But don't use words that are used to hold power and hurt people.
And don't come at us with like arguments like, but these other people say it. Like, hey, the black culture can have reappropriated the N-word for whatever they want. They have that right to do that. Just because you're white and you want to say the N-word doesn't give you the right to say the N-word. Like, I don't understand how that's so hard to understand. Because it's not that difficult. And, like, you know, just because a lot of people say things online doesn't mean that you should also go ahead and say those things online.
Right.
Online is still the real world. It's not a fantasy world where just because, oh, it's on the internet, so what I say doesn't matter. Yeah, it does.
Well, and that's the thing that really irritates me, is that how in the world are people thinking that internet is separated from the real world? Like, those are not two different realities. They're the same thing.
You may have been able to get away with that in like 1995, but not 2017.
I mean, it's baffling to me that anybody would defend this. And yet here we are, where thousands and thousands of people are defending him. And I mean, I saw, was it Washington Post that I was quoting, where they're saying, you know, they just act like he's like a kid who needs a slap on the wrist, and that, you know, he's just influenced by the toxic community. And like, he's a grown man and he's been in trouble for this before.
Yeah.
He clearly never learned, and he thinks that it's okay, and it's not, and it never will be okay.
Right. Like, I think if he hadn't gotten in trouble before, there is, I mean, obviously this is an excuse and it's not valid reasoning, but he's obviously not American, so there's the potential of him just like knowing that word and not completely understanding the connotations and the meanings behind it. But at the same time, it's 2017. The idea that someone would not understand the meanings and connotations and hatefulness behind that word is completely and utterly baffling. And I feel like a person of his public stature is going to know what that word means. He's going to understand the weight behind it.
Like, somebody would have eventually told him, if there was somebody that he is friends with that thought this was unacceptable. Like, hey,
Right.
man, maybe you shouldn't say that because it's not cool. Like, here's why you shouldn't say this word. Here's the connotations behind it. Like, I know that you can't just say, like, well, where are his friends or family or whatever? Like, it's on him. If you're going to pull this whole, like, well, the internet's a different world, then, like, okay, maybe you should educate yourself using the internet so that you can understand what you're doing is wrong.
It's partially like, I think like, oh, you know, people who come up with these types of arguments, like maybe they just aren't educated like in proper ways. But then, like, I also, let's be real, I know people in college who are using homophobic and transphobic slurs on the regular basis and thinking it's okay. But, like, I don't know.
I mean, my brother plays Battlefield all the time, and he's at the point where he just mutes everything because he doesn't want to have to hear any of that.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, that's really, really sad that we're, for one, still fighting this because holy crap, guys, do better. And two, that we're having to even, like, not play these games or mute these games so that we don't have to hear people say really offensive stuff. Like, why? Why does anybody think that's fine? And I mean, like, I get that I am white. I know. Thank you. I don't need you to tell me. I'm aware.
I can look down and be like, oh, hey, I remember.
But that also doesn't mean that I can't say that you shouldn't say these words.
Right.
Like, it's not that hard. And you know, I don't care what kind of racial slur it is. If you're saying any kind of racial slur to any kind of minority, if you're saying a sexist slur, if you're saying homophobic, transphobic, whatever, none of it is okay, and it never will be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap, guys. I mean, I've said it before, and I will say it again. Do better. We deserve better. We're not young kids who, like, are running rampant and just say whatever they want. And, like, even then, kids don't get away with that. Like, be an adult. Even if you're playing a video game, you should have a level of maturity and a level of understanding that you're like, oh, hey, maybe it's not okay to say these things. Maybe it will hurt somebody who is not in the same position of power that I am. I don't know. Maybe consider that. Maybe you should look into, I don't know, empathy? Huh? What is that? What is empathy?
It's a very hard concept for a lot of people, presumably, I guess. Remember when I said we were going to talk about this very briefly, and then we talked about it for like 15 minutes?
Well, so yeah, I wrote a piece on it. If you want to check it out on the website, it's on Ladyem.com. Feel free.
It's very good. You should check it out.
It's just at the point where I have zero tolerance for this anymore. I have none. I'm tired of it, and I don't want to have to always tell people, like, hey, it's not cool. So anyway, that's
our 2 cents in the matter.
Yes.
If I had 2 cents, I would rub them together, but I don't have 2 cents. I got a nickel.
Mine's in a jar.
I don't have any pennies. Anyways, let's
Can I talk about an otome so that I calm down?
Let's talk about let's dive into that grab bag. Let me reach in here real quick. I
mean, to be fair, this conversation was also part of the grab bag.
Yeah, we could say that. Let me reach in here again. I should have a bag for this so I can make like a sound effect. Oh man, look at this! I found some otome.
Yay! So,
is this the only podcast that you can think of that would have a politically charged opening statement and then shift into talking about an otome game?
Yes, and I'm fine with it.
It's amazing. Let's talk about Color Cross Malice, the latest otome adventure.
So I'm sure that they know from listening to me, I really, really love otome games. Like, I have a problem. I will buy pretty much any of them. And so I think it was earlier this year that this got announced that it was being localized. And I'm like, I don't know anything about it, but I'm going to pre-order it immediately.
Right.
And I did. So this game came out in 2016, August 2016 in Japan. And it came out in July here. And I had not had a chance to play it because of a job. And I finally got around to it. And oh boy, am I glad that I did. So the plot is that you're like a beat cop. You're like not even like a real cop, honestly. But you're in Tokyo. I forget the actual locality of it, but it's one of the sub areas of Tokyo. And there's this terrorist group called Adonis, and they've started a X Day countdown, and every time they do an X Day countdown, somebody dies in like a really dramatic fashion. And so they start in like April, and then it's December when the game starts. And the next month is supposed to be X Day. So everybody's panicking, everybody's freaking out, and you get a message that you should go to this park. And the main character goes, and somebody knocks her unconscious and puts a collar on her with poison. And then you have 5 different dudes appear and like save you from the poison, and then like basically take you under their wing in this detective agency. And they're trying to solve the X-Day cases. That's the gist of it.
Is on X Day, is X gonna give it to you?
Oh my god. So they're all former cops. Actually, 2 of them are present cops, but the other ones are former cops. And so there's always like this suspicion of like, did one of you guys do this? And honestly, I have not enjoyed an otome as much as this one, like, since Code Realize. Like, this is my favorite behind Code Realize at this point, which is amazing. I did not expect that when I first started playing it. It's wonderful. Legitimately amazing.
Yeah, because I think for like the first maybe couple of dudes, or at least like the first dude, when you were getting into the story, like you didn't seem like as high on it as by the time like you wrapped around and got to the end of it.
Man, they hit you with some twists. So I started with Inamoto, who is he wears an eye patch.
Arr.
Which is weird. Also, you find out that he wears it for aesthetic instead of actually needing an eye patch.
Arr.
Because he's obsessed with samurai and that kind of thing.
Samurai pirates.
He also carries around like a kabuki fan. He is your trope of being like overexcitable, and he's closet pervy. Like they mention in several routes that like on his bookcase he has poorly hidden like porno magazines. But he's like legitimately pretty sweet. And you find out that what's going on with him is that his mentor and his friend was one of the cops who died in the first X-Day announcement, and he was the one who found the body. And so he has like a really personal attachment to it, and shenanigans ensue. This one, I didn't realize it until I got like the big twist at the end of who the main bad guy is. The very first route that I got was Inamoto, and it actually, when I think back on it, I'm like, wow, they gave me a huge hint as to who the big baddie was, and I didn't even realize it. Like a huge hint, because there's a character in his route that gets shot and goes into a coma, and then the X-Day stuff stops.
Huh.
And, you know, I just thought, like, oh, they realized they had gone too far or something. But turns out that he was actually the one in charge. I'm like, oh, whoa, that's why it stopped. He was in the coma. So, yeah, it's intense. So there are always these pawns involved with the murders. I also suspected her brother for a bit, but her brother's actually pretty innocent. He's just...
Jeez.
Sorry. He's a jerk. And apparently all he wants is his sister's approval for him being in a band. Like, you don't have to be a jerk for that. Just, like, legitimately ask your sister, like, hey, sister, would you mind coming to watch me in this concert that I'm performing? That'd be really cool. Here's a ticket.
Hey, sis, bruh, like, can I be in a band, bruh?
And no, instead he's just, like, a jerk to her. And he's like, I don't ever want to talk to you. You suck. Why are you trying to be a big sister now? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, dude, calm down. Like, I understand you're 18 and, like, you have feelings, but, like, just calm yourself. So Inamoto was a good route. And it revealed a lot more than I realized when I first played it. And then I went to Sazazuka, who I call him Seaweed Head because that's what they call him. He has, like, really green hair and eats donuts all the time. So I know the internet calls him Donut Coon a lot.
I mean, just eating a bunch of donuts sounds like a pretty decent life.
Right. He's your baka person. He's always yelling
Baka.
Baka. I'm not gonna say it right. Say it for me.
Tsundere.
Tsundere. There we go. He's your tsundere of the group. He is a hacker. He's a genius. He wants the guns ban to be reinstated because he does not like guns. That is his entire driving force in this game is he doesn't like guns. So he wants the gun ban to be put back up in Japan.
I hope he has like a room where he just has a bunch of pictures surrounding him with like guns, but it's just like the circle with the cross through them. Or he has like a dartboard, but there's like a picture of a gun in the middle of the dartboard. He's like, he gets mad. He's like, I hate guns.
Oh my god, he's the only one that like they blatantly tell you that you bone, which is really disappointing because he was my least favorite. I really didn't like this guy. I thought he was trash, but like you get some good story from him, but he's terrible.
Welcome to the anti-gun bone zone.
I know. And then I got one of my favorites. It was Okazaki. And he's the one who doesn't wear his coat right, remember?
I mean, none of those people wear clothes right.
Okay, no, they don't wear their clothes right. But he only wears his jacket on like one shoulder.
Right.
And he's the special police. And he was tasked with protecting all the other dudes. And by protecting, I mean spying on them. And he takes a personal interest in you. And he's adorable. Like he's super, super cute. He like falls asleep on you randomly, and he has a face mask that he fell asleep in an alley at one point, and you walk up on him and you're like, oh hey, he's asleep in the alley, that's weird.
That's weird.
He has a strange palate because he likes food that tastes strange, like anything that tastes weird he wants to eat it. My favorite thing about Okazaki is when he's talking about how he used to have a Roomba. Do you remember this?
Yes.
So he talks about how he had a Roomba and that he opened the door and the Roomba left, and he's like, it still hasn't come home. And I'm like, oh, honey. Oh, no.
It's out there somewhere vacuuming.
I know. So Okazaki is like one of the cutest people in the entire world. And I was really, really worried about him because usually white hair anime boys are like, ooh.
Or bad.
Yeah, but he's actually one of the best routes. And I did this, I looked online before I started playing it, like what's the recommended route, like which route order. And so I found Inamoto, Takeru, Okazaki, Catboy, what's his name? Shirashi, and then Yanagi is the final one, which you have to do Yanagi last because you can't unlock him until you do the other ones. You do them, you get it? Ha!
Hey! It's a sex joke.
Jared? Can I do spoilers? Should I do spoilers?
Okay. If you are out there and you are wanting to play Crawler Across Malice, avert your ears for the next, 10 to 15 minutes, or however long these spoilers take. Check back in with us later.
So Catboy,
Meow.
he's your mole. He's been working for the terrorist
More like Mole Boy.
Oh, man. He's been working for the terrorist organization this whole time. He's the one who planted the letters. But he did not put the collar on you. He was adopted by the terrorist organization when he was quite young and given the number 14. And he's been brainwashed and then told that he has to go out into the world, into the police force, and become a profiler. He's really good at it. And so the whole plot of his is like trying to overcome his brainwashing and fight the power and all that. He ends up going to jail, which good, because he murdered a man. I was so appalled. I was texting Jared. I'm like, I'm pretty sure my boyfriend just murdered a man. Like, he stabbed him in the heart. He stabbed this man in the heart. And, like, that's never happened to me in an otome game before. But yeah, he has to go to jail because of that. So, she's like, I'll wait for you. And I don't know how long murder cases get in Japan. Like,
I mean, probably pretty long.
Yeah, so how long is she gonna wait for this dude?
Life.
Probably. So he was my second least favorite because he kind of sucks. His cat accessories are cute, but he was mean.
Stab a guy. Still not the least favorite.
I know, that's the problem, is that the donut boy is still my least favorite because he was so mean. And he calls you Poochie. And like, why are you calling me Poochie? That's not nice. And then you get Yanagi, and he's the best. Except for he smokes. So that's kind of sucky. But he basically wraps up everything. He's your end game. He's the canon choice. Usually this is how it happens. He's also the one that helps you figure out who the big bad is. But he's investigating all the cases, where all the other ones have their individual cases that they investigate. And so you're kind of like going over an overview, essentially. He is trying to distance himself from you at first because he feels guilt. And at one point he's like, do you not remember me? And she's like, no, I don't remember you. And then you're like, wait, why would you remember him? What is going on? Turns out he saved you when he was 16 and the main character was 9. She was kidnapped and was going to be sold into like sex slavery. And he saw it happen, so he followed the dude and almost beat him to death with a pipe. Right, to rescue her. Which, you know, good on him. But it kind of traumatized her as well.
Slightly.
Yeah. So eventually he gets past that, like, survivor guilt because the one dude is still in a coma. And he's like, oh, man, I almost killed a guy. That's not cool. And protagonist helps him get past his worries, and then they fall in love, and it's real, real cute. And then you find out who the bad guy was this whole dang time. And I texted you, and I was like, I know who it was. I have an idea. And I was right, because it's always the goofy best friend. When they give you a like cute dude in an otome game, and you can't date him, he's usually the bad guy.
What about Period Cube? Because that had like dudes you liked, but you couldn't date him.
Yeah, he was awesome though. Like that dude was beautiful.
But that game also had incest, so.
Yeah, that game was just weird. Although still like one of the better ones I played. But anyway, it was your goofy best friend, and he's the one that's in charge, and he's a complete and utter butthead. And I talked about the pawns, and that's probably one of the parts of this game that shines really, really bright, is that each route has a different group of people who are committing these X-Day murders, and you find out their backstory, and they are fascinating. And also they're extremely, like, you're sympathetic towards them. You understand, like, oh, I get why you did this, but what you did is wrong. Also that weird bunny girl, she was the only one that I didn't really feel any sympathy for, but she was weird. But like one of them, she was killing people because she was being stalked and then threatened to like be murdered by her stalker. Okay, I get that. The twins, there are 2 twins that their mother was bullied by these dudes in high school. Like their mother was a guidance counselor at the high school, and one of the dudes wanted to date her, but she's like, no man, I'm married. So then they started bullying her and then like calling in fake calls to the high school to try to get her fired and that kind of thing. And their mom ended up killing herself and her husband and tried to kill the twins but failed. And so the twins are trying to like get revenge for their mother. Okay. Like they all have really, really good stories, and that's one thing that's fascinating, is that these characters have like really, really intense backstories, and you're like, okay, all right, what you did was wrong, but you're not completely wrong. But yeah, Yanagi and Okazaki are best boys.
Otome. This was really good though, and it actually has like an investigation mode. So think of like an Ace Attorney type thing where you're having to like look around the room. Mm-hmm.
and it has a trigger mode where in each route you have to shoot something, and you have to get the timing right to shoot it, or else you get a bad ending. And so like it had gameplay elements beyond just the visual novels, which was pretty cool in my opinion.
Yeah, because you don't really get to
Um,
see that a lot in visual novels, just in general.
you don't. And I got engaged at the end of it. That was pretty cool. And I got the platinum trophy, which was hard.
You were struggling with that for like the night you were trying to get that, because you had like what was like one bad ending that you didn't have, but like you just could not get it to register.
And I ended up finding out, I went and found a list of all the bad endings on Tumblr, and I ran through every single one of them in the game until I found the one that I was missing. It took hours.
Remember when you didn't get the platinum trophy in Root Letter because you didn't want to go through the routes again?
Yeah, I remember. I remember.
And here you are.
This is when I have cute boys. I mean, like, cute anime boys are life. Come on.
Oh. Root Letter on sale for this week. Go buy it.
That has nothing to do with Color Cross Mouse.
I'm advertising here
Okay.
for things we are not being paid for.
If you like otome games, you should play this one because it's rad and it's awesome and it's really fun. And actually, like, the main character, she stands up for herself a lot, which is good. She's pretty bad because, I mean, she's like shooting stuff and fighting, and I mean, you usually don't get that in otome, so I was proud of her.
Right.
Although she does really fall into the trope of it. And they do still kind of keep up with like traditional women roles of like, oh, she's a good cook and she can clean and da 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 da. So yes, my review is A+. You should play.
And I don't know, maybe if like you're interested in the genre, but you're like, I don't know if I want to, fork out some money to play one of these games quite yet. Watch the Code Realize anime coming October 7th.
I'm so friggin' stoked for that. Like, I am jazzed out of my mind for that anime. Although I'm sad that Best Boy on that one is not gonna get his time to shine.
What, Herlock Sholmes?
No, he will get his time to shine. Victor Frankenstein, because they're going with a canon choice of Arsene Lupin. So
they're not gonna go like route by route. It's just gonna be like, here's the entire story, but the canon route.
I mean, honestly, that's what it seems like based on the trailers. As someone who's played the game, like, I recognize certain scenes from his route.
Right.
So it seems that they're just gonna do like an overview of the story of the game following his route.
Right.
Which, I mean, it makes sense because it's kind of the same thing as Yanagi's in this, and that it kind of clears up any kind of issue that you have.
Right.
So.
All right. Well, that's your otome minute for the last couple months.
I will come back when I have more otome for you.
We'll check back in a few months.
What is it, like Bad Apple something is the next one that's coming out?
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it, but it's got Bad Apple in it.
Because you're a bad apple in it.
I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. Literally, I don't even pay attention to what the stories are. I just see that like a new otome game's coming out, and I pre-order it on Amazon immediately.
It's true. Also, I'm like on the lookout for you for new otome games as well. So
you're such a good pal. You're like, oh, she likes otome. You want to see this link? And I'm like, yeah, I do. Thank you.
Speaking of games you've played.
Okay.
That's not an otome game, though.
Oh, darn.
Let's talk about a game that you got into while you were on vacation.
Yes.
And also a game that is not necessarily your style of game.
It is not.
Let's talk about Hyper Light Drifter.
So, I had not really heard about this game. And my brother, when I was on vacation, was like, hey, I want you to try this game out. I was like, yeah, okay. And so, for one, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's very, very pleasing to look at.
2, it has beautiful sound design.
Yes.
And then 3, it's hard.
That too.
I I usually don't like games that are hard for the sake of being hard. Rarely do I like them.
Right.
But there's a reason why I like this one. And I guess we should talk a little bit about it because it's kind of like a Link to the Past Diablo hybrid is what the creator said, correct?
Yeah, like it's another 2D game, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, like the camera's kind of out back, kind of like looks like Diablo. It's not like you're gonna point and click everywhere, but it has like that style of like camera. But a lot of a lot of the game is exploration, so it is like a lot of the early Legend of Zelda games.
Mm-hmm. And that was what I really like because I love games with exploration. I don't know why that gets me so much, but any kind of game, it's like, hey, have fun. You can go find things. I'm like, yes, please, let me go find the things. Also, it's got like bright colors,
Yeah,
which I like.
like there's such like a good aesthetic look to this game that like even though like there are multiple 2D retro looking games out there, especially indie games, like there's just something about the way Hyper Light Drifter looks that just sets it apart from like kind of everything else.
I don't, I can't think of a game that looks anything like it. The closest I can think of is like Fez.
Yeah.
Because it's got kind of the same aesthetic, but it's just I don't know. And I went and researched it a little bit because that's who I am. And apparently the creator is suffering from some kind of like disease.
Like a heart disease.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which that's one thing that I was confused about because I have technically a heart disease issue, whatever, I don't know. But he wanted to portray that in a sense with the main character.
Right.
So that was fascinating because I really, really like it when there's like personal touches like that in the game. And there's no real narrative that's given to you. Like they're not spelling out what the story is, they're not spelling out who this guy is, they're not spelling out anything that's going on.
It doesn't like beat you over the head like this is a message about heart disease or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, this guy has some sort of illness and he's going to these areas to fight this thing that's wrong with him, essentially.
Yeah, and like every once in a while, when you're like progressing through the dungeons, like the character, like the screen will shake and he'll start coughing up blood.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was one thing that I always knew I was going the right way when that happened. But two, it was like, oh, that's bad.
Yeah, slightly.
But you're getting like more of a sense of like who this guy is, even if you're not like getting any kind of text story on this. You're not getting any kind of verbalization. You're not getting text. Like it's all just there.
Right.
It's kind of in the sense of like what are the games I'm thinking of? Like Limbo, where you kind of have to piece together what the story is.
Right. So I mean,
With
it's essentially a textless narrative based game.
yes. Can I talk about why I liked it so much?
Sure, go ahead. That's what we're here for.
So, I've mentioned a few times before when I talked about Link to the Past that one of my favorite memories as a kid was that my brother and I spent an entire summer passing the controller back and forth playing Link to the Past. Like, that to me was really, really important, and it kind of honestly set me on the path that I'm on. It was very influential. And it's, one of my favorite memories with my brother was just that bonding. And so when Keller was like, hey, can we play this game? And we did. Literally what we did is Keller sat next to me. I sat there. I was playing the game. And we were both just playing it together. Like if there was a point where I'm like, I can't do this, I'd hand the controller to him, give him a shot, let myself calm down a bit. And so it was really kind of a throwback to that for me, that it was my brother and I bonding over a video game again because we were able to just sit there and figure out the puzzles and figure out the combat and play it together, even if it's not, there is a co-op mode, but we didn't even want to try that. We just wanted to play it.
Right.
And so it was sort of sense of nostalgia, and I think that that's not exactly the form of nostalgia that the creator was aiming for, but considering that he quoted Link to the Past as one of his inspirations, and then that's the kind of game that Keller and I played before. It is the game that Keller and I played before, and we played it the exact same way this time. It was just really, really important to me. I was like, oh, this is a bonding game for me, even though it's really, really hard. Keller and I are sitting here trying to figure out the best way to do these things. We're trying to figure out like where to go, and I don't know. It was more of like an emotional experience for me as a person than just beyond playing this game by myself.
Yeah, totally.
And I'm not saying that the game's bad to play by yourself, because it's certainly not. But I feel like I got a lot more out of it because I had that real personal connection with it.
Yeah, and I think that's completely fair to like that can be a huge factor in how you enjoy a game specifically.
Yeah. I mean, it was literally the exact same thing, just, we're many, many years older.
Right. So like for me, like I had heard a lot about this game. Like I heard people.
I told you to play it.
Yeah, like people had been mentioning this game since last year when it came out. Like Hyper Light Drifter is really good. Everyone should play it. Blah 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 blah. And like finally, you were like, "Hey, I played this game. You should probably play it too." And I was like, "Okay, I'll take the plunge on this." And like I didn't know exactly like anything going in. I knew it was hard because you'd mentioned that it was hard. But other than that, I really had no ideas or no expectations going in of what exactly this game was. And I think the biggest thing that surprised me was just like how much I enjoyed the gameplay, because it is so snappy and so smooth. Like anytime like you feel like it seems like anytime you die, it's probably something you did. It's not like the game completely messing you up or anything. And just the combat and the way it moves reminded me so much of Bloodborne, which is another game that I absolutely adored and thought was fantastic in the way that it played specifically. Which is weird because like a lot of people, if they're like, oh yeah, I liked Bloodborne, like they are probably fans of the other Souls games as well. But for me, like I've gone back and I've tried to play Dark Souls and I just can't get into it. Like I think I think for me it's kind of like it's a combination of just like how that game plays and like the movement of it, whereas like Bloodborne, it's not like a methodically slow game, because like the differences between Bloodborne and Dark Souls is like in Dark Souls you have a shield. In Bloodborne they're like, no, you don't get a shield. Your shield is you being able to dash around and move. And I think like that just made that game so fun. It was just like just having the options of like trying to get out of the way, figuring like how much space I need between like my enemy and me before I can attack and all that sort of stuff. And it's the same principles here in Hyper Light Drifter as well, where it's like you need to understand how much space you need between an enemy coming at you and attacking, and like that break in between and where you can go up and hit them, or being able to shoot a gun and get them that way. And just the combat just flowed so well. And just the way that you moved and the attacks, everything was just so snappy and responsive that it's just an amazing playing game, I think, first and foremost. And then like we said earlier, like as well, like aesthetically it looks phenomenal. Like there are so many little like design pieces here and there that you'll find out in that world that you just look at and it's like this just looks amazing. It's very good.
It is very, very good. One thing, I know that you mentioned the movement. Like, I learned very, very quickly to keep moving.
Right, yeah. If you're not moving, you're dead. Especially later on. But that game's very good. I think more people should, if you haven't yet gone out and played it, you should probably play it. It's on, PC, Xbox One, PS4...
Steam.
Oh yeah, I said PC.
Oh, derp.
I think they've said that they're thinking about bringing it to Switch, but there is no definitive plans like as of now of like this game coming to Switch or anything. So.
Well, and part of the rumor of it coming to Switch is because there's the one fighting game coming out, and the main character from Hyper Light is one of the characters in it.
Right.
And it's a Switch exclusive, so.
And I think someone asked them on Twitter, like, "Hey, do you want to put this on Switch?" And they was like, "Well, think about it." which is the most like the most developer answer ever. So
Like legitimately, I would buy it on the Switch and play it again. I would totally be fine with that.
right, it's a very good game. Yeah, like we said, definitely check it out if you haven't yet. And it is difficult, but I don't think it's necessarily like ultra difficult. Like you'll be able to play it. Trust us. If we can get through it, you can get through it. That's the SAC OVA seal of approval.
Yeah, if we can do it, you can. That's how we were about Mario Cross Rabbids. So we're like, you know what? We're not the best at these, even though we like playing them. But if we can do it, you can. Wink.
Wink, wink.
So yeah, it's definitely fun. Can recommend. Not an otome game though, unfortunately.
It's not an otome game. That's the one surprise.
Yeah, not an otome. Break my heart.
Should I talk about some of the games that I've played recently?
Yes, you should.
Let's talk. Okay. I'm going to talk about Tacoma. Like the truck. The Toyota Tacoma.
Oh my god, please don't talk about the truck.
The Tacoma, Washington.
That is a place.
Tacoma is the latest game from Fulbright, the creators of Gone Home, which was my favorite game of 2013. I want to say whenever that game came out, it was my game of the year that year. I thought that game was phenomenal, and I've been waiting for the last 3 years for Tacoma. Tacoma is essentially a game where you are the main character. You're named Amy, and you are set off to this space station that's been abandoned. And the entirety of the game is figuring out what happened at this space station. And it's the year 2088, so it's the future. And one of the underlying threads is that, hey, it's the future, so corporations have taken over everything.
But is that really the future?
Do you want to go to Amazon University? Because that's a real thing in this game.
Really?
Really. It's a real thing in this game. And a lot of like and a lot of it's like dealing with like, oh, this private corporation has gone out and put all these space stations out there, and are they as good of a corporation as they say they are? Spoilers, they're not. What a shocker, I know. But a lot of the game wraps around like you going and exploring the different sections of this space station, and you interacting with these essentially these memories of like what has happened on the space station, which they're built out of augmented reality. So you see kind of like wireframes of each individual person who was on the space station. There's like 6 people who are on here, and you will watch as scenes play out in different sections and from different time periods. But one of the cool things about this is that it gives you the option of like, while you're watching these scenes play out, you can move around during these scenes, and also you have the ability to just rewind and fast forward and pause and play at any time. So like if you want to like check out where someone else is going, you could pause and then follow them and do that.
Really? That's an interesting mechanic.
Yeah, it's super super cool. It's a real interesting way to do storytelling. So a lot of it like it goes from like, I think like the first couple ones are from like 2 weeks ago, and they lead up all the way to like 10 hours before you arrive. And it tells you the story of like what exactly has happened on this space station, why no one is there anymore, and also what exactly you are doing there at this space station. And basically, like I said, you go through 3 different sections of the space station. You will uncover each individual like story. You'll uncover like who these people are in general. Like there would be some like, if you go into like there are like rooms, you'll get like a special little scene where it's like, oh, this was from a year or 2 ago, but it's just like them doing something, and kind of tries to flesh out their characters even more. And by the end of it, you'll uncover a good majority of the mysteries, and I think the ending is actually kind of ambiguous in a way, which is actually, it can be kind of helpful for this game. And it's pretty interesting the way it actually kind of wraps up and how it does so. Fun thing though, I was playing the latter half of the game because it's only about 2 to 3 hours to get through the entire story.
Oh wow, that's not bad.
So yeah, but we sometimes babysit like I guess it's kind of like a nephew or something. I don't know. It's like my sister's husband's nephew. I don't know how that relates to me, like that relationship. But anyways, we'll sometimes babysit him because he'll be with like my niece, and they'll get dumped here while my sister and her husband go off and do stuff. But
this is real life, right? Not the game?
Real life.
Okay.
So he came up while I was playing the latter half of this. Bear in mind, this is a mature rated game.
Okay.
He came up and watched me play the latter half of this, which thankfully nothing bad happened during it. Like, there's a few instances of them like cussing in it, and like there's more like adult themes, not necessarily like bad, but like just stuff that kids aren't gonna get.
Right.
But he basically watched me play the latter half of this game and was like genuinely interested in it, and it very much surprised me because like we would watch these scenes and he'd be like, "Oh, well, what's this person going to go do?" Like, "Oh, well, the doctor's doing this. Like, why is she doing this?" And like he was like genuinely interested in asking questions about it, and I was like, "That's fascinating." And like I was like telling him about like, "Oh, well, this is why the space station doesn't have gravity in this place because this has it." And why in some places it does, because they're simulating Earth's gravity to make them feel more at home and stuff like that. And like it's just like stuff like that, like, oh, we live in the Milky Way galaxy. If you expand out to the universe, it's way bigger. And he was like, what? Like simple things like that. But yeah, I was like I was very surprised that like he was actually kind of genuinely interested in like kind of how it all went up to like the end of the game. I was like, and was fascinated by it. Especially because, like, I feel like for him and a lot of, like, kids his age, because he's, like, 6, they're obviously the generation of, like, oh, Minecraft's not your favorite game. What's wrong with you? So him to, like, kind of, like, watch a strictly narrative-based game and be, like, super interested in it was something that was interesting to me. Because I guess I wouldn't have thought that, like, that type of game would hold up to, like, kids that age. So that was a cool thing to see. But Tacoma is really good.
Should I play it?
I mean, you should play Gone Home as well, because you haven't yet.
I have not.
And I'm still upset about that. We could share play you playing Gone Home.
Okay.
We should probably do that sometime. But yeah, Tacoma is very good. Like if you enjoy Gone Home, if you enjoy narrative-based games like Firewatch and that ilk, like you should probably play Tacoma. It's only out on PC and Xbox One as of now, so those are the only places you can get it. I don't know if it'll eventually come to PS4 or not, but yeah, it's very good. It's a very good one of those games.
Should I play that?
I mean, do you like?
I should play all of them?
You should play all of them.
I mean, how many games have they created?
2.
2?
Did you
I
ever?
thought it was 3.
No. Did you ever play the BioShock 2? Did you play any of the BioShock 2 DLC?
I don't remember if I played the DLC. I played BioShock 2, and I didn't like it.
Cause let me remember the name of this.
Don't tell me they're the ones who made BioShock 2.
No, they made Minerva's Den, the DLC for it.
Okay.
Like a lot of the people who made that went on to create Fulbright and then make Gone Home and Tacoma.
Okay, so it's Gone Home and Tacoma.
Yeah. Firewatch is a separate game made by different people, but it's similar in aspects. It's another style, like it's another one of those narrative based games.
I love narrative games, so
they're very good. And those 3 are very good games in that genre, so highly recommended. Also,
all right, I'm into it.
The first episode of the Life is Strange prequel, Life is Strange Before the Storm, came out at the end of August.
I forgot you played that.
I played that, yeah. So they debuted this at E3, if I can learn how to speak. And obviously they'd gone on record, Don't Nod, the developers of the original Life is Strange, and we're like, yeah, we're making Life is Strange 2, and it's going to have nothing to do with the original game. Nothing to do with that story. We're done with it. And then E3 rolls around and they're like, hey, we're making a prequel to Life is Strange. And everyone's like, Okay.
And I remember there was some question because it's Ashley Birch, right, who could not come back.
Yeah, so Ashley Birch plays Chloe in the original game, and due to the SAG-AFTRA strike that is still ongoing, she was unable to reprise her role in this game. They got the lady who does the motion capture for Chloe. She does the voice acting in this. It's not the same, but
Well, it's not going to be because
right.
it's a completely different person. But as long as like the tone and like actual quality is good, then I don't see why it would be an issue.
Yeah, like it works, and I think it kind of works as well because like obviously this is a younger version of Chloe,
Right.
so like the voice change can kind of be, you can kind of give that as a reason for that as well. And also they brought Ashley Birch in, I think, as like there's a credit specifically for her as like a writer and an advisor for that role.
Oh, okay. That's good. At least they involved
So
her.
yeah, so it's not like they just they just left her out, but like they brought her in to be like, okay, you played this role for 5 episodes, you know this character, like help us write this character, which is a cool thing because like she couldn't reprise this role. That's a job opportunity she loses. But this new development team, Deck 9, brings her in. It's like, here you go. This is a new opportunity for you, and like gives her employment for that. That's real cool.
It's really, really cool, but it's also, to me, it's fascinating that they're looking for a voice actor's input onto the character themselves because they're like, you got into the mind of this character, so help us get also into the mind of her. So I'm like, that's really, really fascinating because we've talked about this before. Voice actors are really, really, really underappreciated,
Right?
and at least in the United States.
Yeah, definitely.
And so I feel like that's a cool way of being like, hey, what you do is good. Come help us.
And I think especially it's beneficial as well because like this is not the same development team that made the original game.
Right. So that helps a lot because otherwise you're just stuck with like it ends up being BioShock 2 essentially.
Right, yeah.
Sorry, I was trying to think of an example. I'm like, wait a minute. I just brought up an example. BioShock 2 sucks.
Like going into this game I was kind of worried because it's a prequel to a game. Yeah. I was very worried about it. It's a prequel to a game that I loved. And obviously the story arc of this game is like, it's pretty well known if you've played the first game. Like there's going to be a complete definitive beginning and a definitive end. So like I didn't know if they were going to be able to pull it off. But playing through that first episode, like it's very good in a lot of surprising ways. Like I think they are able to write Chloe in a way that makes her seem like even more like a teen, if that makes sense, and more like a bad teen. Like there's the opening of that game is like she's pretty much obnoxious to you, like to the player, but it makes sense because she's a 16-year-old trying to sneak into like this party that's for like 21 and up. And
and also 16-year-olds just
are obnoxious. Yeah, they're the worst.
Have that mindset.
And like it just works in that way. And then I think as well you dive in more into her character and like figure out like why she's so like angsty and moody all the time. It's like, well, she's still dealing with the fact that, you know, spoiler section, her dad died and like and her mom's moved on to like this new guy and she's just not ready to have that new chapter open up in her life. And that basically
she's Yukari.
Yeah, essentially. And like basically like that extends on into like Life is Strange proper as well. That's like why one of the reasons she's kind of like so kind of angry and mad at the world, especially as well because Max is the main character in the first game, and you find out a lot in this first chapter or the first episode. Like Chloe is very off at Max for like going to Seattle and leaving her behind, like especially in a time of need. And like one of the things I think she writes is like, "Hey, thanks Max for leaving me back here. You really set me up for the world to let me know that it's just going to disappoint me at any turn."
Oh my god.
Like it's very good, I think, and like just getting into her psyche.
Yeah, no, I mean that wow though, like
yeah.
Shots fired.
It's yeah. But this is also the main theme about this prequel is that is establishing the relationship between Chloe and then a girl that is hinted at throughout the entirety of Life is Strange, Rachel Amber, who you never meet in that game. You only know that she dies or that she's been missing throughout the entirety of the game. Wow. And this first episode, you have that establishing relationship between the two and kind of figure out like, oh, this is how these two became friends and why Rachel was so important to Chloe in the first in Life is Strange proper. So now we'll be able to understand that, and basically the plot of this entire story is probably going to be like building up this relationship, and then the obviously the end of episode 3 is probably going to be what happens to Rachel Amber, how does she die, which we kind of get a hint at, like, or we kind of like get a basic idea of in Life is Strange, but this is probably going to be like, here's exactly what happened, and Chloe's going to freak out.
Okay. But that's cool, though, that they're building up this entire backstory of, like, what happened and what led to the original game. I like that.
And it's a little bit different as well because Life is Strange, the original game, had, like, the time-traveling mechanic in it. And obviously this game doesn't. So it plays more like a Telltale game in that aspect. Because it still has choices and everything. Like, there's a new mechanic called backtalk where it's, like, you choose that and, like, you try and backtalk your way out of situations, essentially. Because you're an edgy teen who smokes pot and drinks all that edgy teen stuff. Also, there's that one point in the game or in the episode where you play D&D.
Nice.
It's actually a really good scene.
Is it?
Yeah, like surprisingly so. Because like you even have the option of being like, D&D, that's for nerds, or just like willfully going into it, and like you actually make like a new friend if you like willfully go into it.
That's awesome.
It's really cool. And also, like, there was a criticism of Life is Strange, like the original game, of that it allowed Max to explore being in a homosexual relationship with Chloe in that game. Mm-hmm. But then at the end, it's like, well, you either get to choose to let her live or die. Oh. So it basically kind of like it throws that on there, but in the end, like the canon ending is to let Chloe die. Spoilers. So it's like it's basically another example of like, oh, there's representation in a game, but the end of it, someone dies. Which essentially,
so is it kind of like the bury your gays trope, or
what's that?
Have you not ever? You said that she's a lesbian, right?
Yes.
Or did I mishear that?
Yes. No,
okay.
You didn't mishear it. You were correct.
The bury your gays trope is that there's always, like, if there is a lesbian or gay relationship, one of them's always going to die.
Okay, so yeah, that's kind. There you can get the other ending for the game, but it's basically like this is the bad ending essentially. So, but like one of the bad things about this is that like the same thing's kind of going to happen here, but I think they're writing the relationship a lot better than they did in the first game, because they basically explicitly kind of like lay it out there in this first episode, because you can basically be like, you can, as Chloe, be like, hey, I think I have feelings for Rachel, and like literally just tell her that. And then by the end of the episode, like Rachel's like, hey, I kind of like freaked out back there, I'm sorry, like this is a new thing for me too. And I think like they're actually going to do a lot better job of exploring that relationship, and especially in the terms of like, you know, it being a homosexual relationship, than the original Life is Strange did. But also at the same time, it's going to end up with the death again, which is real unfortunate.
Bury your gays.
Yeah. But I do think they kind of did learn from the first game, so maybe by the time Life is Strange 2 comes out, like, we won't have that trope to deal with. But then again, like, that game's, who knows how far off
years
that is.
Away.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's Square Enix, isn't it?
Yeah, they are. Well, they're the publisher for it.
Right. I'm just saying that.
But I would assume like they do have like additional. I think they're helping on it, and I would assume like Deck Nine and Dotnod are Square Enix internal teams, or like they.
Yeah,
they're
legitimately, I was just trying to make a Square Enix joke.
I mean, like, look, it's a Western Square Enix, or is a non-Japanese Square Enix game, so like those are usually pretty good, honestly.
They are. I'm just, again,
I know.
I gotta get my kids in on Square Enix whenever I can.
Yeah.
They've personally victimized me.
That's completely fair. So yeah, this is surprisingly good. and I'm very much looking forward to the next 2 episodes. There's no release dates for those yet, but looking forward to those. Also, if you get the deluxe edition, which I think is like $25 in total, it does come with a bonus episode that stars Max, but I think it's like kind of from the past as well. But it's literally titled Farewell. It's like, here's the last time you get to play as her, so that's cool. And also you get like DLC like costumes. So like there is a shirt that Chloe wears in the game that is also a shirt that I own. So I was like, yeah,
Really?
that's cool.
That's nice. Also, when you say Max, I think of my cat. So I got really, really confused for a moment. I'm like, why is...
I don't think Max is Maxine.
He's Maxwell.
Yeah, so a little bit different.
What kind of shirt is it?
It's a character design from the original game. It's called Hot Dog Man. It's a hot dog that's a man, and it says Woot on it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's a real dumb shirt.
I feel like maybe all the games that you've played I should play because they seem like they'd be right up my alley, but I just haven't really done it.
Have you not played Life is Strange?
I have not.
I own 2 copies of that game.
Okay. Why?
I bought it all digitally at first, but then like they came out with like a limited edition collector's edition, like for a physical release of it, and bought that because it came with like a cool art book and the soundtrack to the game. But
literally, like after listening to you talk about Tacoma and Life is Strange, like I really, really want to play both of them.
You should.
After like listening to this, I'm like, these seem really up my alley.
You totally should. Man,
he agrees.
There's some like even in the original Life is Strange, like there's some real good stuff. Like some of like the cliffhangers for those episodes are intense. Like I think we probably talked about this on the Persona 5 episode. Like there's the end of one, like the end of episode 2 is very similar to a scene in the beginning of Persona 5.
Yep, we talked about that.
Yeah.
I remember it.
So like it gets intense stuff. Again, yeah, they're very good narrative-based games.
My jam.
So yeah, if you haven't checked those out, you should definitely do it. Like I would highly recommend. Highly recommend Life is Strange and Tacoma and Gone Home and probably this one as well.
I can really, really understand like you not wanting to play my otome games. I get that, but like, man, I really am interested in these. So I have to check out pricing and all that because I am but a poor graduate student.
I mean, I think Life is Strange and Gone Home go on sale here and there. So if I ever see them go on sale, I'll let you know.
The best, thank you.
And I mean, like, for the most part, like all these games are like $20.
Oh, okay, that's not too bad.
So that's also pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, that helps.
So yeah, that's
So literally every game that we've talked about in this podcast is a yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we recommend it.
Thumbs up.
That's actually interesting for our grab bag. That doesn't always happen.
It's true. We're just very positive right now.
Dude, I mean, despite the fact that we started this podcast off in a very negative way, I have been so stoked because of this otome. Like, I've been really, really wanting to talk about it because I loved it.
Yeah, you were very high on it.
I was real happy about it. So, like I said, we've had some negative in this podcast, but for the most part, it's been a very good podcast in our recommendations.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. I only have one thumb available at the moment, but both of them would be up if I could.
Well, alrighty. I think that's going to wrap up this grab bag.
Hey, I think we should at least say thank you to the person who gave us money.
Yeah. We got a patron
thank you,
finally.
Person. You're the best. We appreciate you.
We appreciate your support of
You're a pal.
Of us doing this because that was a very shocking thing to get an email. I was like, whoa, hey, that's a thing.
We were so excited. I was in the middle of Chipotle and I literally squealed. I had a cop in front of me in line and he looked at me like I was insane. And I'm like, I'm going to get arrested because I'm excited about money. Like, dude, seriously, whoever you are who gave us the money, you're the best. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
You're a pal. You're a real pal.
I believe that's what it says when you're a patron. It's like, you're a pal.
Well, It is, but I wanted to personally say,
Yeah.
you are a pal. You're a good human being.
Anyways.
If you want to also be a Patreon, you should give them the link.
Yeah, if you also want to contribute and help us out for this very podcast, you can do that at patreon.com/SACOVA. And there's links on our website as well.
Yep.
For all that. Also, go to seasonalcheckup.com or sac.cool for more information from us. You'll find it there for past episodes of this podcast. Jared and Al Watch, which you can find in this feed, the Seasonal Anime Checkup podcast as well, and for columns and reviews. You can find more from Ann Ladyem at annladyem.com, like her piece that we talked about at the very beginning of this episode. You can find that there, and also some previous columns and reviews from her as well. And twitter.com/anime checkup. If you want to keep up with us on the Twitters. It's a good way to twist at us.
We would love it if you would twist at us.
Twist. Next week.
Twist.
I don't know.
I have no idea. I haven't even thought to next week.
We'll figure something out.
I mean, I was going to say we could do the anime we're watching, but it's only one half of it, so we can't do it.
We want to just talk about the first half of it.
I mean, we could, but it's probably better to just wait until it's all out.
That's true. The only bad thing is that like the latter half of that season comes out the same day that Danganronpa V3 comes out.
Oh, no. So that's not happening.
That's
because I'm going to be Danganronpa, all up in that business.
That's up in that business.
I never thought I'd say.
All up in that business.
We'll figure out something.
We'll figure something out. So, yeah. Look forward to that and fun stuff.
Be a good person, guys.
That's true. Moral of this episode, be a decent person. Come on.
Not that hard.